What is going on, YouTube? What is going on? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of Life After Lockup, Season 4, Episode 22, the season finale. We have made it to the very end of Season 4, and it was a good season. There were some, hits and misses, but for the most part, it gave me what I needed for the most part. So let's start off with Marcelino and Brittany. So up until this point, we know that Brittany has already found out all of Marcelino's secrets. She has looked through his email accounts, she has looked through whatever, his social media, and she has discovered a plethora of cheating information. So Marcelino has been a very bad boy, like I said before. She has found DMs between him and other women, inappropriate pictures, both ways, going both ways, from him to them, from them to him. She discovered that he has been communicating with his ex again, and I guess indicating that he would want to be back in a relationship with his ex-girlfriend. Obviously, she knows about her friend, the one that they had the threesome with. She found out that they were communicating with one another unbeknownst to her. So she has an arsenal of information, and she is waiting for him to walk through that door, and she is going to unleash on him. So Marcelino comes home. He walks in, he sits down, and for a while, they're not saying anything to each other. I guess Marcelino, he's just waiting for the interrogation to begin, and Brittany is just trying to gather herself and trying to contain herself so that she doesn't just leap up and just hurt this man. So he still has on his sunglasses, and she tells him, take off your sunglasses because I want to look into your eyes. So he takes off his sunglasses, and then she just lights him up. She confronts him with all the information that she gathered about him, even his secret Instagram account where he was going by the name of Mr. Meek Mill 45, and he was using that Instagram account to communicate with an online prostitute or an online hooker, making arrangements to meet up with her. She confronts him with the information of, while I am in the house taking a shower or I'm in bed, you're creeping around at night, talking to other females, while I'm just upstairs in the next room. So she lets him have it, and he denies it. He acts like he doesn't know what she's talking about. And so she says to him, look, if you're not going to be honest with me, then get the hell out. We have nothing to talk about if you're not going to be truthful with me. Once again, he plays ignorant. He plays dumb, like he doesn't know what the hell's going on. So Brittany is like, you know what? Let me just do you one better. So she goes into the kitchen, grabs some garbage bags, goes upstairs, and she just starts throwing all of his clothes in garbage bags. So while she's upstairs, just yelling and screaming and cursing him out and putting his clothes in garbage bags, he expeditiously exits the house, quiet as a mouse. So he exits the house. He goes inside his truck. There's already a camera crew waiting for him in the truck, and there's also a camera that's on the windshield. He yanks the camera off the windshield. He tells the camera crew to get the hell out of his truck. They leave because he is angry. He's like a contained volcano and ready to erupt. And as soon as they exit his truck, he takes off. He is gone. So later on, we see Brittany. She's upstairs. She is breaking picture frames, the frames that had pictures of their wedding in them. She's like throwing them to the ground. Glass is shattered everywhere. She is so heartbroken. She is crying. She gets in the bed, curls up in the fetal position, pulls the covers over her, and she just starts wailing, right? And it's sad because Marcelino and Brittany, I think they were like the fan favorite couple. They were the couple that they overcame so many challenges and so many hurdles. She came out of prison. It was like a real relationship. It wasn't like, those relationships where it's just somebody on the outside who can't get into a normal relationship with anybody on the outside, so they resort to prison dating, and they get with people that clearly are taking advantage of them, and then when the prisoner is released, they have no time for the outside person. It wasn't like that at all. It was like they had a real connection, like they really liked each other. And then when they came out, that spark was still there. They still wanted to, kick it with one another. And they had some hiccups, of course. They had their challenges, but they stuck it through. They got married. They had children. He accepted her oldest son that she had from her previous relationship. He was there for her. She was there for him when her mother was out there, drugged out, walking the streets of Las Vegas looking for a hit. Brittany was looking for her mom. Marcelino was there. He complained. He didn't like it, but he was still there, supporting Brittany while she was trying to help her mother. So they had been through a lot. And this is the couple that every time they come back to life after lockup, I enjoy watching them, because other couples, I'm kind of like, I'm so sick and tired of seeing these people. But Marcelino and Brittany, I truly enjoyed watching them. I watched watching how their story developed, how their relationship developed. I loved Marcelino and Brittany. So to see Marcelino messing up like this, I was really angry with him. So she calls him, and and she does the thing that people do when they're broken hearted, like, why did you do this to me? Why couldn't you just be honest? And the thing is, I think with Brittany, as open-minded as she is, if he would have told her, if he would have been direct with her and just said, look, this is how I'm feeling, or this is what I'm going through, or how do you feel about if I had a chick on the side? I don't know, maybe she would have been down with that. She would have been like, okay, you can have a chick on the side and I'll have a chick on the side, and then we'll still have our main central unit going. All she wanted was honesty. That's all she wanted from this man, was him to be honest. But he wasn't honest. He wanted to cheat like so many others. Would rather take the deceptive route. And I think with Marcelino, I don't want to make excuses. And I've already said they're like my favorite couple. I don't want to make excuses for this man. He did what he did. It was dirty. It was wrong. He deceived her. He broke her heart. That's a fact. But I feel like when they got popular, when they got, famous or whatever, I don't think Marcelino knew how to act. I think he was getting a lot of attention from a lot of females, and attention that he was not used to getting. He's a decent looking guy that I'm pretty sure on his own, he gets women, but I think the level of the amount of women that were coming at him, and very aggressively, because of the fact that he's on a television show and he's very well known. I don't think he knew what to do with himself. He was like a kid in a candy store. So he couldn't resist the DMs, the women reaching out to him, sending him he could not resist. As far as Brittany's friend, I forgot, Amanda, that's her name, Amanda. As far as Amanda goes, I think Amanda probably could have been envious of Brittany, or maybe she had a thing for Marcelino herself. I don't know why Amanda was not upfront with Brittany by saying, hey, look, your husband's contacting me. I don't know what was going on there. They have a deeper issue. That friendship has a much deeper issue. But I think with Marcelino, and I don't want to make excuses, but I think he couldn't handle the pressure. He couldn't handle the outside pressure. And he should have been upfront with Brittany. He should have been like, look, I am tempted. Okay, these women are coming at me left and right, morning, noon, and night. My DMs are full. My emails are full. I don't know what to do, or something. I don't know. But he should have been honest with Brittany, because Brittany, it seems like she's a different kind of chick. She would have been like a little bit more understanding than the average woman. If he would have come to her and said, look, I messed up. I got caught up. I sent a picture because somebody sent me a picture. I'm really sorry. This is what I did. I'm pretty sure maybe Brittany would have been like, okay, let's just work it out. But she had to find out on her own, and that's what pissed her off. So then we find out that so she calls him, right? I forgot to mention that. She calls him and she's like, why did you do this to me? Why couldn't you be honest with me? And Marcelino took accountability. He says, I'm sorry, Brittany. He says, I messed up. I made a mistake. And he took accountability for his actions. He kept on telling her over and over again that he loved her. And I don't know if she told him to not call her again, but she ended the call. And so I was like, okay, it seems like this is over. Then we find out that he's been gone out of the home for an entire month. We see her packing up, and she says that she's moving to Florida. And even though he had been gone from the home for a whole month, he would still come to the house every single day to spend time with the children. So she says she wants a new start, and she's going to be moving to Florida with her mom, her sister, her children, and I think she said his mother as well. I think that's what she said. I don't remember, but I think she said also Marcelino's mother. So she's packing up. She wants a new start, and she says that her and Marcelino are just going to have to find a way to co-parent. And I was just like, damn. My favorite Love After Lockup couple has, this is the end. And I was so brokenhearted. I really was brokenhearted. And I felt like Usually the one that's cheated on, I'm like, leave that person. They're going to cheat on you again. It's over. It's done. They don't deserve you. But just something about this couple, I was kind of hoping and praying that they would maybe work it out. But when she said she was going to Florida, I was like, okay, that's the end of that. But it was a good run. And it left me feeling really, really sad about people that I don't even know. Moving on to Chance and Taylor. So it's time for their gender reveal party. Taylor says that the gender reveal party was a compromise because it kept Chance occupied and kept his mind off of the wedding. He wasn't pressuring her about the wedding as much while he was busy planning for this gender reveal party. It's funny how Chance is like super involved with the pregnancy and the family, and he wants to get married, and he bought them a home, and he's talking about like he's very playing this family man role to the T. And it's cute to watch. He's kind of crazy, but it's cute to watch. So he tells her, because he had bought him and Taylor these jackets, like bomber jackets, I don't know what they're called. His was blue, hers was pink, for the gender reveal party. And he tells her that he spent $150 per jacket. And it's like, okay, why would you tell her that? If she doesn't know, why would you tell her that? Because you already know how she is about finances, and y'all being a little bit more conservative with your spending. And then you told her that you spent $150 for jackets that y'all are probably going to wear for this gender reveal party. So he still questions whether or not if the baby is his, and she just rolls her eyes at him. And then he goes outside to the front, and he's sitting in his truck, and he's looking through the mail. Evidently he went to the mailbox, he got the mail, and he's looking through the mail in his truck. This scene right here was so super staged to me. I didn't like it. Like, is this what he does all the time? He sits in his truck to look through the mail? Because how convenient that the one time he chooses to sit in his truck and look through the mail, he sees the gender results, the DNA results. So, not the gender, the DNA results. So he's sitting there in his truck, and he's looking at all the different pieces of mail. Okay, the bill. And then he comes across the DNA results, and he's like, "Ooh, the DNA results are in." And so he opens them up, and then he does this whole show for the camera, like he's really shocked about the results. And then he just revs up his truck and he takes off, trying to give this implication that the results pissed him off so much he just had to like run away. Anyways, he comes back and he pulls her to the side, and he tells her that the results came in. And of course, obviously, duh, the results were positive. And so he apologizes to her, and I would have taken those results and shoved them down his throat, for real, because you out here embarrassing me, asking me if this baby's yours. Like, they're together all the time. Like, where would she have found the time to go sneak? Anyways, moving on. So they go on with the party, and the gender result is done by a single engine plane. So they all look up into the sky, and the plane flies by, and it's got that big old sign in the back where it said what the gender was, and they're having a boy. Bobby's there, the father's there. So Bobby and the father, they talk, because Bobby and the dad, they don't get along. They've had a lot of issues over Bobby's drug use. The dad was like really treating her bad because she couldn't kick her habit. And so instead of trying to help her, he was trying to show tough love, and it went awry. It just pushed Bobby away. So they have a chance to talk, and so they talk it out. She tells her dad that she's moving to Arizona to start over, to start fresh. And the dad says that he's really going to miss her. And that was really, really sweet. And Taylor feels like that she's going to be losing her sister again when her sister moves to Arizona. So that was really sad. But it's good to see that Bobby is thinking about Bobby and doing something for herself to get herself better. Then we have Deontay and Lindsay. So Lindsay goes over to Deontay's house to bring back a laptop that he had bought for her, and to also put an end to the relationship, put closure to the relationship. So as she's trying to give him the laptop, he tells her, "No, I bought it for you. It's yours. Keep it. I don't want it." So that was really sweet of Deontay. So she apologizes for how things went in the relationship, and Deontay asks her, "So were y'all messing around with each other this whole entire time? And she's like, no, we were not. The feelings were there, but we never acted on them until that moment, because she tells us that the night before, her and Blaine finally consummated their relationship. So up until then, she tells him that no, they had not acted on it. There was no fooling around going on between her and Blaine. It was strictly platonic. So she tells him some, what did she say to him? She tells him, so Deontay tells her how brokenhearted he is. Like, this really shattered his heart because he really liked her. Deontay's a simp, okay? I don't think you can take what he says when he talks about being brokenhearted, or when he talks about being so deep in love. He's a simp. Any woman that's in his life, he's going to easily fall for. That's just how Deontay is. So I ain't worried about Deontay and his heart. He's fine. His heart is fine. It's not broken. He's okay. He's just a simp. He falls so easily for women, and he'll be okay. So Lindsay tells him, well, once you find happiness in yourself, you'll find happiness in others, or you'll find happiness in another. Like, girl, what Hallmark card did you read that from? Girl, get out of here with that. So she gets into the car with Blaine, because Blaine was there the whole time, keeping his eye on them, making sure that, the hugs didn't last too long, or the kisses didn't linger too long. So she gets in the car with Blaine, and she drives off with her laptop, and Deontay, he's in his car, crying his heart out. He'll be fine. Lindsay talks about, then there's like a segment, like in between scenes or whatever, when she's talking, like in her little confessional, where she's talking directly to the producer. And she's talking about, the really dismal statistics of the American prison system. She says that 25% of the world's, no, she says the United States, 25% of the people that are incarcerated in the world are incarcerated in America. Like, we hold 25% of incarcerated people in the world, or something like that. Like, trying to say that we put a lot of people in prison. And then she says that, incarceration is really bad for mothers and their children, because it takes moms away from their kids. So what's the other option, Lindsay, for moms who commit crimes? To not incarcerate them because they have children? Well, they're not thinking about their children when they're committing the crimes. And if you don't want to be separated from your children, how about this? Don't go out there breaking the law. So then we see a scene with Mila Grace, Blaine, and Lindsay. They're out fishing. And Mila Grace asks Lindsay, so are you dating Blaine now? And she says yes. And I'm like, Lindsay, can you take a moment for yourself? I mean, the way you go from man, and I understand in prison, she probably had to go from man to man to man, to constantly keep her commissary full. She always had to have some type of, but you're out in the free world now, where you can spend time with your daughter. You can work on yourself, get a career, go to school, or do something. You don't always have to have a man in your life. But it's like, okay, you took your kid from Scott to Deontay, now Blaine, in a matter of how many months? 12, 16, 18 months? You're going from man. Like, what are you teaching to your daughter? The fact that you cannot be alone. You cannot be by yourself. You always have to have a man in your life. So anyways, she tells her daughter that she's going to focus. She goes, no matter who I'm dating, or regardless if I'm with Blaine, you're going to be my number one priority. Okay, we shall see. And so she feels really bad about breaking up with Deontay, because she says Deontay was her best friend. He helped her get through those dark, lonely nights in prison, whatever. So back in Virginia, we see Deontay at his mother's house, and his mother has invited a young lady over to meet her son Deontay. And so she wants him to find other options other than women in prison. So when the young lady comes into the home and Deontay sees her, you can literally see the red hearts pulsating from his eyes, like that emoji. Already he's falling in love. He's already falling in love with somebody else. Anyways, so he says that he is done with inmates. He's not going to date any more inmates. He is going to date women who are on the outside only. We'll see. Amber and TC. So Amber tells TC that she's pregnant, and she tells him by showing him three positive pregnancy tests, and it really took him by surprise. It knocked the wind out of him. He had to literally get up and go take a shot of whiskey or whatever it was that he was drinking, because he was like, "Wait a minute, I need a drink." It knocked the wind out of him. So she tells him that she's pregnant, and he's like, and then she's been to the doctor, and I think she said she saw the heartbeat. I don't know if she told him that or not, but he started like, I thought he was going to be upset because he said he didn't want to have any more children, but it was kind of like, he was considering it. He was like, you can see his mind turning like, this might not be that bad after all. And so after the shock kind of wears off a little bit, he starts talking like, well, I really hope it's a girl. It'd be really nice if we had a girl. And before he goes too deep into that, she tells him that, well, the doctor also has some really bad news. The doctor told me that because of my liver issue and, my past drug habits and whatever, my liver is so torn up that I might not survive, once the baby's born, or the baby might not survive. So it's either going to be me or the baby. So it's an extremely high risk pregnancy. And of course, he says, you know what, no matter what, he wants her to live, because she tells him, I don't want to leave you raising a baby by yourself if I don't make it because, of my bad liver. So they make the decision to do what they need to do to make sure that Amber is going to be around as long as she can. So they've decided to end the pregnancy. Well, just at not that moment, but the law in Georgia where they live at had recently changed, and they can no longer get the procedure done in Georgia. So she has to go to North Carolina. And so Queen and another friend, they drive her to North Carolina for her to get the procedure done. So she goes there, she gets it done. She's absolutely devastated. Amber is always very practical. She's very positive. She has a lot of common sense. And so to see her this devastated about it, and to see how much this weighed on her, you can tell that this really, really bothered her. This was not a flippant decision. This wasn't just a way to control her fertility, or just using this as birth control or whatever. This was a very, very difficult decision, as it is for a lot of women. It's not flippant. It's not just, oh, wake up in the morning, let me go take care of this. It's a very difficult decision. And so to watch her go through this process, my heart completely went out to her. So she gets it done, and then she comes back to Georgia. She meets up with Puppy later, and Puppy had no idea this was going on. So she tells Puppy what she'd been going through. And of course, Puppy felt really bad for her. And, they're there to support each other, and they cry together because, Puppy lost her baby. Now Amber has lost hers. And so Puppy tells her it's going to be okay, and our babies are going to be together in heaven. That was deep, heavy stuff. Very deep and heavy stuff. I mean, we get a lot of foolishness on this show, a lot of staged crap on this show, a lot of silliness on this show, but then once in a while they give us something very serious and something to think about. Puppy and Eric. So Puppy tells Eric, after she has miscarried, she tells Eric that she's feeling empty, alone, lost, depressed. And I'm like, Puppy, what else is new? That is your constant state of mind. That's your Puppy is in a constant state of depression. So whether she has lost a baby, whether she is going through it with her man, or she's going through it with Amber, she's like constantly just, this is what she is, just always sad, depressed, morose. So Eric tells her, or he says, I don't know if he tells us or her, I don't know, but he says somewhere along the line of, when this happens, when a couple loses a baby, it's either going to break the relationship or make it stronger. And he says that I hope for us, it's going to make us stronger. And it's going to bring us closer together. And I thought that was really nice of him to say. I think maybe underneath it all, there's probably is real love between Eric and Puppy, but they have a lot to work on. Moving on to Brittany and Ray, they get married. And I could end it right there and move on to the next couple, but it wouldn't be fair. So Brittany and Ray get married, and she says something very interesting to me. She says, who would have thought that the guy who slid into my DMs and who was in prison, I would end up marrying him later. And so they have a happy ending. This is the side of prison love or prison relationship, this is like the happy good side, okay, when there's a positive outcome. And I just don't want too many people to watch Brittany and Ray and think, oh, if it can happen to them, it can happen to me. So let me, find somebody in prison. Because when they get out, they're going to get a really good job driving trucks and they're going to take care of me. And we're going to live in a really nice home and I'm not going to have to work. Brittany and Ray is the exception to the damn rule. The fact that Ray has been committed to Brittany, Brittany has been committed to Ray. He got a job, he's working, making money, taking care of her, they have a nice house. Whether financially her parents are contributing or not, I don't know. The fact still remains that he is working and he is bringing money into the household. So they get married, and I thought she looked lovely. I thought she looked absolutely lovely. Um, it was nice. It was a very nice wedding, and the only thing that I did not like was I really did not think it was cute that the bridesmaids were holding clutches instead of flowers. I would have so preferred for the bridesmaids to have been holding flowers because it looked like just a line of women in line waiting to get somewhere holding their purses. I just didn't understand the clutches. I didn't understand that at all. And I didn't like it. I know that she thought in her head it was a really cute idea. And I don't know what Instagram account she saw this on, but I didn't like it. I think they should have been holding flowers. So they get married. It's very, very sweet. They jump the broom, and then everything was nice. Everything worked out. It was a beautiful wedding, and I'm glad that we had a very positive outcome on a prison romance. Of course, I don't encourage prison romances, but it was nice to see a prison romance that actually worked out. Sean and Sarah. So the baby, they're like, they were debating who the baby looks. The baby looks like Sean. The baby looks like Sean, a spitting image of Sean. And I don't know if that's positive or not. I'm just stating a fact that the baby looks like Sean. Destiny calls Sean, demanding her $10,000. They start arguing on the phone. Sarah can hear them from downstairs, so she comes upstairs and she's like, "Who are you talking to?" She sees that he's talking. This scene right here was very staged to me because, number one, Sean has always been very secretive. Every time his phone rings, he goes outside to answer it. So for him to answer the phone and then to FaceTime and put her on speaker while Sarah's in the house, yeah, this was staged. So she comes upstairs. She grabs the phone from him. She starts yelling at Destiny. Destiny's yelling at Sarah. Sarah. They're going back and forth. Destiny's talking about how Sean has never left her alone. Sean owes her $10,000. She's going to get it one way or the other. She's either going to get it from Sean or get it from her, because Sarah was saying, he doesn't owe you anything. He's not giving you money. He's not sending you money, because I think Destiny implied that at some point after Sean and Sarah were, I don't know, whatever she said, I have no idea. But Sarah said, "I'm in control of our bank accounts and no money has gone to you and no money will go to you." So they're going back and forth with this dumbness, because why Sean even entertains Destiny is beyond me. Like, why do you even answer the phone? Why do you even answer the phone, Sean? I mean, do you still have a thing for her? Are you still hoping that you get back with her? Why are you answering the phone? She's going to want money from you. She's going to threaten you, demand that you give her $10,000. You know how this is going to go. Why do you bother answering the phone? Just put her on block, ignore, or don't answer. I don't understand. So then she lights into Sean. Okay, she gives Sean a piece of her mind. And she basically tells him, "Look, if you want to continue talking to that trash, just go be with her and leave me the hell alone. If you want to be with me, stop talking to her, but you're going to have to make a decision." So I guess he's going to decide to stay with Sarah. I have no idea. I have no idea what's going on here. Why answer the phone? And then Destiny, if you really believe this man owes you $10,000, just go sue him. Take him to court and just sue him for it. And then garnish his wages. Kevin and Tiffany. So Kevin goes over to see Kayla because he wants to confront Kayla about the video that Kayla had sent to Tiffany when Kayla was at his house and Tiffany was none the wiser. So, he goes over there. So he goes there to confront her. Make a long story short, they end up getting back together again, him and Kayla. There is no getting back together. Y'all have always been together. Y'all were just going through a rough patch. And you were cheating on Kayla. So they decide to get back together. They have a lot of issues, of course, not trusting each other. She cheated on him, he cheats on her. And so she tells him, look, you need to stop seeing other women. He makes it look like he's going to stop seeing other women. You can't trust Kevin as far as you can throw him. Okay. He's just one of those guys. There's just no, he likes the whole thrill, the thrill of the chase. He likes being sneaky. He likes that lifestyle. So I just don't, he's not going to be faithful to Kayla. So they decided to be back together again, work out their issues. Moving on to Tiffany. Tiffany says she's dating some guy named Thomas. So she's with someone else, and she says she's done with Kevin. Good riddance to them. Chaz and Bronwyn. Chaz is talking to Tawny, which is the ex-friend of Bronwyn, who has been feeding Chaz all of this information about Bronwyn, her online escort website, all the stuff that Bronwyn's been doing behind Chaz's back. So then Tawny tells Chaz, yeah, when I gave you all that information, I didn't want to cause any drama. Okay, you told a lovesick, obsessed husband that his wife has an escort website that is active, and you didn't want to cause any drama. Okay, girl. So then she tells him that Bronwyn is back with her ex-boyfriend Yola. So now Chaz is really done with it all. We see Bronwyn. She's with Yola, and Bronwyn says that she and Chaz are broken up. How, Bronwyn? How are you and your husband broken up? Y'all are still legally married. Chaz says that he went into this marriage thinking that they were going to last. Really? You need to be evaluated, Chaz. If you went into this marriage with a woman like Bronwyn, with her history, and you thought that this was going to last, you need to be evaluated. He says the lessons that he's learned: don't marry an inmate, don't marry a prostitute. Chaz shuts off Bronwyn's phone because he says he's not going to pay for it. Yola needs to pick up the bill on her cell phone. Yola looks like someone who will smoke any money that he gets his hands on, will go straight up his nose or in his veins. Chaz says he's going to leave a very negative Yelp review on her escort site. He's going to say that she is overpriced, the service sucked, and that you can find better down the street. You're so brokenhearted, Chaz. You're so wounded by Bronwyn. She made you look like a damn fool. When you go back and you look at this episode, you look at this season and how you were portrayed, you're going to kick yourself. You're going to be so angry at yourself, Chaz. Bronwyn made you look like a damn fool. The way you were going back and forth between Portland and Kentucky, the way you were so lovesick over her, the way she cringed anytime that you came near her, the way she cried whenever you tried to initiate any type of intimacy with her, that she would break down and cry and have a meltdown because you were touching her. You're going to look back at this and you're going to feel so embarrassed. So at the very end of the episode, they give us an update of all of the couples. As far as Bronwyn and Chaz, it says that Bronwyn has not signed the divorce papers yet. I don't understand why. She's probably too high or too drugged up to have the wherewithal to sign anything. Chaz is already looking for his sixth wife. It didn't say if it was prison or not. Bronwyn was arrested on parole violation, but she was freed again, and now she's focused on her studies. Really. No mention of Yola. As far as Kevin and Tiffany are concerned, on their update, Kevin and Tiffany no longer speak. Oh, no surprise there. Says that he's been faithful to Taylor, and Tiffany is still seeing Thomas. Sean and Sarah, their update. Sarah enjoys being a stay-at-home mother, and she vigilantly monitors Sean's phone. Destiny is focused on being a mom and is still trying to get her money from Sean, and her husband is still behind bars. Brittany and Ray, they're trying to have a baby. Good for them. Puppy and Eric Eric's divorce has been finalized, and they plan on getting married in 2023. Amber hopes to move in with TC in the near future. Deontay and Lindsay. Deontay is single, but he still stays in contact with Lindsay. I'm hoping just like as friends. He's probably giving money to her still. And Chance and Taylor, their baby is due in November. Chance wants to get married in 2023. Taylor is still dragging her feet about that. It's funny to me that Taylor drags her feet about marrying Chance, but she didn't drag her feet about getting pregnant by him, and she didn't drag her feet when it came to him moving in a convict with her three daughters living there. She didn't drag her feet about that. She was so quick to do all of that. But then when it comes to getting married, all of a sudden, she needs to, be cautious, super, super cautious. But you threw cautious to the wind when you moved him in with you and your three daughters. Bobby, and I think she probably had the best update of all. They showed a picture of her. She looked great. She is a certified nursing assistant in Arizona, and they showed her in her cute little nursing uniform, her scrubs. I'm so proud of Bobby. I'm so proud of Bobby. That's probably the best update out of all these couples. And then we get to Marcelino and Brittany. Marcelino and Brittany both moved to Florida together to start a new chapter, and they are working on their marriage. And then they showed us the cutest photos of Marcelino and Brittany. I hate to say this, but I really want Marcelino and Brittany to work out. I need Marcelino to get it together. He needs to understand that the grass is not green on the other side. He needs to understand that this woman, Brittany is a catch. Brittany is a catch and a half. Okay. She is attractive. She's intelligent. She's motivated. She's a go-getter. She wants to get her license in real estate in Florida. She's got plans. She has a career. She's a good mother. She's learned from her mistakes. She is golden. And Marcelino, for you to mess it up with Brittany, Marcelino, to mess it up with Brittany, shame on you. You need to get it together. I'm still rooting for you. I want y'all to work out, damn it. I really, really do. So you need to do what you need to do to make her happy and to stay on the right track and stop cheating and stop fool-a-lalling with all these internet women that ain't going to do nothing for you and who are nowhere near the woman that Brittany is. Brittany is the best thing that could ever happen to you, Marcel, because she shows a lot of grace to you, a lot of forgiveness, and she puts up with a lot of crap. Your gambling, your infidelity, your not working. She has put up with a lot of crap from you, Marcelino, and she is a catch. Okay, any man or woman would love to have a chick like Brittany, and you're just taking advantage of her. So get it together, Marcelino. That is my review of Life After Lockup season finale. Thank you so much for joining me. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video. And if you like this content, go ahead and subscribe. And I will talk to you later. Bye.